Good morning. Right, this morning we are at St Veep Parish Church in St Veep, Cornwall, and we're here to meet an actor, and that is Eric Portman. Eric Portman is one of those actors that was very busy. He's been in a few films that I recognise. One of our aircraft is missing. We Dive at Dawn, man's man films. World War II, post-World War II, kind of military style films. But he started his career on stage, and he did do an awful lot of films. But anyway, I'm going to show you around this lovely, lovely little churchyard, which is in the middle of nowhere, while I'll tell you a little bit about Eric Portman.
Eric Harold Portman, 13th of July 1901 to 7th of December 1969, was an English stage and film actor. He is probably best remembered for his roles in 3 films for Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger during the 1940s. Born in Halifax, West Yorkshire, Portman was the second son of Matthew Portman, a wool merchant, and his wife Alice Nee Harrison. His birth was registered with the middle name of Harold, but he would later adopt his mother's maiden name as his middle name. He was educated at Rishworth School in Yorkshire, and in 1922 started work as a salesman in the menswear department at the Marshall and Snellgrove department store in Leeds, and acted in the amateur Halifax Light Opera Society. He made his professional stage debut in 1924 with Henry Bainton's company. In 1924, Robert Courtney's Shakespearean company arrived in Halifax. In the 1930s, he began appearing in films, starting with an uncredited bit in The Girl from Maxime's, 1933. In 1935, he appeared in 4 films, including Maria Martin, or The Murder in the Red Barn with Todd Slaughter. He also made Hyde Park Corner with Gordon Harker, and directed by Sinclair Hill, Old Roses and Abdul the Damned. He went to the US and played in Madame Bovary on Broadway for the Theatre Guild of America. He also had a small role in The Prince and the Pauper, 1937, but disliked Hollywood and did not stay long. He was back on Broadway in I Have Been Here Before by J.B. Priestley. Portman's last London stage show was Jeannie. In 1941 he had his first important film role playing Lieutenant Hirth, a Nazi on the run in Powell and Pressburger's 49th Parallel, which was a big hit in the US and Britain. Portman was established as a star and signed a long-term contract with Gainsborough Pictures. Portman was in Powell and Pressburger's follow-up One of Our Aircraft is Missing, 1942, which reworked the story of the 49th Parallel to be about Allied pilots in occupied Holland. He played a Belgian resistance leader in Uncensored, 1942, from director Anthony Asquith, and a German pilot in Squadron Leader X, 1943, with director Lance Comfort. Portman was a sailor in Asquith's We Dive at Dawn, 1943, and a factory supervisor in Millions Like Us, 1943, from Lauder and Galliot. He was in another war story in Comfort's Escape to Danger, 1943, then was back with Powell and Pressburger for A Canterbury Tale, 1944. Portman had the lead in Great Day, 1945, with Flora Robson, and in the expensive colonial epic Men of Two Worlds, 1946. In 1945, exhibitors voted him the 10th most popular star at the British box office. He maintained that ranking the following year. He made some thrillers: Wanted for Murder, 1947, Dear Murderer, 1947, and The Mark of Cain, 1947. He was a hangman in Daybreak, 1948, then made Corridor of Mirrors, 1948, and The Blind Goddess, also 1948. He made 2 films for the new producing team of Maxwell Seton and Aubrey Baring, The Spider and the Fly, 1949, and Cairo Road, 1950. Portman was one of many names in The Magic Box, 1951, and then made an Ealing comedy, His Excellency, 1952, playing a trade unionist who becomes governor of a British colony. For Baring and Seton he made South of Algiers, 1953, then had a big hit on stage in Terence Rattigan's Separate Tables, and on film in The Colditz Story, 1955. Portman had a supporting part in The Deep Blue Sea 1955 and Child in the House 1956. He had the lead in The Good Companions 1957. Later film roles included in The Naked Edge 1961, Froude, The Secret Passion 1962, West 11 1963, The Man Who Finally Died also 1963, The Bedford Incident 1965, and The Spy with the Cold Nose 1966. In 1962, Portman was in a stage adaptation of A Passage to India that ran for 109 performances on Broadway. Near the end of his life, he played character roles including number 2 in the TV series The Prisoner, appearing in the episode Free for All 1967, as well as films including The Whisperers 1967 and Deadfall 1968, both for director Brian Forbes. His final film was Assignment to Kill 1968. In the early 1920s, Portman was an amateur in Halifax light opera. While there, he was romantically involved with Eliza Jane Thornton, his leading lady. After appearing in The Silver Box together, they both went to London to work professionally, though eventually Thornton returned to Halifax. Decades after Portman's death in 1969, it was suggested that he was homosexual and that actor Knox Lane was his partner. Portman died at the age of 68 at his home in St Veep, Cornwall on the 7th of December 1969 from heart disease. He was buried in St Veep Parish Church, which is where we are today.
Well, that's all the information I could get on him. His headstone is literally up here just in front of me, and I walked into the churchyard when I first got here to try and find his headstone, and it was the third stone I read. I think it's the quickest I've ever found one. But anyway, it's just in front of me, so I should turn you around. There's a fly keeps bugging me. I should turn you around and we'll go and have a look at it together. Anyway, it's just here in front of me. It's not got a lot written on this one, so it won't take me long to read it. And here it is. Eric Portman, actor, 1901 to 1969. That is the final resting place of Eric Portman. Well, it'd be a shame to leave this one. It's such a lovely church. Really lovely, oldie worldy, middle of nowhere. I'm literally parked on a country lane because there's nowhere even to park your car. But cars have been getting around me. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, then maybe consider subscribing. It's absolutely free, it doesn't cost you a penny. All you got to do is hit that button. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Well, that is it from Cornwall. I will see you on the next one, wherever I am. So until then, bye bye for now.